From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Tonight, a bill that will greatly change concealed carry regulations across Montana is now signed into law. We will break it all down. Plus, disturbing new details tonight into the arrest and possible charges faced for a Billings man captured last night by U.S. Marshals. And Crow Tribe officials confirmed the body of an 8-year-old missing Crow Tribe girl has been recovered. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, Crow Tribal Chairman Frank Whiteclay confirms that the child's body on the Crow Reservation yesterday that was found is that of 8-year-old MLDRED Old Crow. A law enforcement source who asked not to be identified told Q2 that the body was recovered Wednesday from a camper near Gary Owen. An autopsy was being conducted today, but the county coroner has not yet released details. MLDRED was last seen in March of 2019 when she was 6 years old. Now, 2 hardened women facing charges in connection to the disappearance of MLDRED are now back behind bars, facing more charges. Tribal prosecutor David Sibley tells Q2 that Veronica Tizer Dust and Rosine Lincoln Old Crow were each being held on a $5,000 cash bond tonight. Sibley recently filed an additional charge of custodial interference in that case against both women. Tirzah Dust and Lincoln Old Crow were captured as fugitives from justice in Billings on December 23rd. This after the Crow Tribe issued warrants for their arrest on December 16th that state they failed to produce the child, nor was any proof of life provided. Now, Tribal Chairman Frank Whiteclay issued that statement today. It says in part that the entire community felt the loss when MLDRED went missing, and we feel it again today. My hope is that we can find closure, grieve together, and work to ensure that children are protected and supported on the Crow Reservation and beyond. We want justice for this child and for all of the victims of the epidemic of people missing from reservations across the country. In other news tonight, just one day after the U.S. Marshals Service tracked down and arrested a wanted Billings man, court documents confirm what he's accused of doing. 35-year-old Willie Red was apprehended at the Motel 6 on Midland Road late yesterday afternoon. As you can see in this video, marshals took Red into custody at the Motel 6. Now, court documents filed late today say Red faces a felony count of aggravated assault of a 3-year-old girl. Injuries sustained to that 3-year-old Billings girl who was rushed to Denver for treatment. Now, these court documents state that on February 3rd, police responded to the Billings Clinic Emergency Department for a 3-year-old girl with severe injuries. Now, that girl then flown to Denver Children's Hospital for emergency surgery. A warning, these next images may be difficult to view. They're from the victim's family, who tells us that 3-year-old Amaya Fox is doing better today, but court documents state that she sustained compression fractures in multiple vertebrae, a brain hemorrhage, chest trauma, and bruising all over her body. Red says the girl suffered the injuries during a car chase and alleged shooting that left bullet holes in his car that night. Red tells investigators the little girl was not wearing a seatbelt. Court documents state a doctor who cared for Amaya said her injuries could not have been sustained in the manner described. Well, Red appeared in federal court this afternoon on probation violations and remains in federal custody tonight. Well, today, Governor Greg Gianforte signed House Bill 102 into law, which will significantly change the concealed carry of guns in Montana. MTN's John Riley has more from the Capitol.
In Montana, people can now carry concealed firearms without a permit in most locations and with a permit in state and local government buildings such as the state capitol building. Governor Gianforte was joined by Representative Seth Bergley of Joliet and other Republicans for a signing ceremony of House Bill 102 in the governor's office.
House Bill 102 does several things. It allows for people to carry concealed firearms with the same amount of training in the same areas, in areas they can already carry open carry, and it erases the invisible line around our colleges and allows adults, to include veterans that have served overseas, to carry on college campuses.
Effective June 1st, college administrators are not able to outright ban concealed carry on campuses. However, colleges still will be able to prohibit the possession of a firearm at an event on campus where alcohol is being served or at an athletic or entertainment event. Deputy Commissioner of Higher Education Kevin McRae told MTN in a statement the Board of Regents' highest priority is keeping campuses safe places to teach, learn, live, and grow. They will be discussing firearms policy at their May board meeting. Governor Gianforte praised the new law and said that gun control measures don't stop crime.
Gun control measures step on the rights of law-abiding citizens. And our Second Amendment is very clear. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
The new law will also allow those with concealed carry permits to be able to concealed carry in bars, casinos, and restaurants and financial institutions like banks. Although businesses and landlords are still able to set their own restrictions regarding firearms. As for K-12 schools, firearm restrictions will be left up to the individual school boards. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
All right, thanks so much, John. Now, a legislative budget panel votes to authorize another $27 million in federal money to help with rental assistance during the pandemic. The bipartisan budget subcommittee says the money will be inserted into a yet-to-be-introduced bill. If approved by the full legislature, the money would be added to $17 million that's already been authorized for the program. The State Department of Commerce is planning an aggressive push for making that money available. The $44 million total is part of $200 million in federal funds approved by Congress in December. State housing officials estimate that $44 million could be distributed to as many as 8,000 households by the end of June. Now, renters and their landlords can apply for that money. The State Commerce Department has set up a website at emergencyrentalassistance.mt.gov. Well, RV parking, an amphitheater, and improvements to the First Interstate Arena. Those are all ideas in the first draft plan for MetraPark. The concept master plan is being released to the public with the idea that this is just to start the conversation. The plans include dramatic facilities and footprint overhaul, including land west of the complex. Now, the proposed master plan includes 3 possible options. Each would extend the north parking lot, adding overnight RV parking along the Yellowstone River, and improving the carnival area. Walkways and landscaping would also be added. There are proposed new horse barns and another multi-purpose building. Plans include expansion of the lobby of the First Interstate Arena and Expo Center. And there's a transit station, pedestrian walkway, and hotel option west of the grounds. In a second option, there's the potential for an athletic stadium, while a third option could include a mix of both, an amphitheater and a new athletic stadium. County commissioners will have to adopt that master plan. Now, the public can view the plans and weigh in with comment. In the meantime, Bill Dutcher with MetraPark says there's already work being done after the grandstands and Heritage Building were removed and the carnival parking lot was repaved. Well, a Billings family made it out safely as flames destroyed part of their home. The fire, deemed an accident, broke out at 300 Wyatt Circle today. Fire officials say they believe it started with heaters in a shed used for housing chickens that was attached to the rear of the home. The flames caused approximately $400,000 in damages. Now, the blaze also managed to spread to the inside. Now, the unprecedented power outages in Texas has officials sending out a massive warning about carbon monoxide poisoning, but also here in Montana after our record cold temperatures. Billings firefighters say just last weekend, crews responded to an apartment complex where 10 of its units had high levels of carbon monoxide. Now, that's because exterior vents get trapped with snow and ice, and levels increase when people try to use unconventional heat sources such as a stove, grills, or generators to stay warm.
It's really important for people to check their exhausts on their furnaces and on their hot water heaters and stuff like that, because they will get blowed in with snow, and it's getting so cold that it's not able to melt. Even at mine in my house, I crawled up on my roof and I had ice built around my furnace vent that never happened before. And so really be cautious, really make sure that you notice that your furnace and hot water heater are working effectively.
Carbon monoxide is a gas that has no odor, color, or taste. Although you can't see or smell it, it can be extremely dangerous to your health and possibly even fatal. Now's a good time to make sure the batteries in your device are working. Up next on tonight's MTN 530 News on Q2, it's time to break out the cake and balloons as Sam the Otter turns 3. We're going to take you to that birthday bash. And in sports, family ties. We'll meet a sibling duo looking to lead the Lodge Grass Indians to back-to-back state titles. That story in just a bit.
That sunshine felt pretty good today, despite the fact that the temperature's still well below normal for this time of the year. We'll take a look at the weekend forecast that includes a warm-up in just a few minutes.